What's up? Welcome to your daily Buckeye Blitz with the uppercut there. Uh, Welcome in. Today's January 12th, 2024. I'm trying to not be too excited. We got a lot going on. We've got coaches moving and grooving. We got a new safeties coach. Parker Fleming's out, which you guys must be dancing in the streets and burning couches over that one, I'm sure. I'm right there with you. I brought a gallon of gas. Is gas bad? How about some lighter fluid? Let Get a slow burn in there, right? Do people still cook with charcoal and lighter fluid, by the way, when you grill? Do you still use that shit? That seems really bad, all those chemicals. Careful with that. Anyways, so yesterday on the Daily Blitz, um, we looked at replacements for Justin Fry, which I'm sure I got plenty of sound feedback, and yes, we'll take any of them. So today, let's replace somebody else. Keep it coming. Larry Johnson. This is our annual show. We've been doing this for about the last 3 years. Uh, let's talk Larry Johnson replacement rumors. Who's out there? Who's a possibility? Is a D-line coach a possibility? Sounds weird. Sounds awkward. You don't usually hear that, but let's get into it. If you remember back, maybe you don't. I know I do, barely, but Larry Johnson was set to retire after the 2022 season. All right. So that didn't happen. So he stuck it out, went through 2023 season. He's in his early 70s, like 71, 72. He's almost the same age as Saban. So let's look at numbers here. Ohio State sacks. Now, I will preface these numbers with the fact that we have changed defensive schemes, and maybe the scheme is the reason for this. But we have two five-star defensive ends over the last 3 years. They came in 2021. So you tell me, I don't know. Ohio State sack numbers, 2021, they had 36. That was 34th in the country. 2022, they had 34. That was 32nd in the country. And this year, 2023, they had 28. That's 60th in the country. Going down. We're going backwards. She's going down. What? Hello? Anyways, now TFLs, kind of related, but similar but different. 2021, we had 83. That's 44th in the country. 2022, 86. That was 31st in the country. So a little bump up there. 2023, 72, though. That was 65th in the country. Again, right in the middle of college football. If there's 130 teams or whatever the fuck. Anyways, so what are the options here? So let's say, regardless of what happens with the rest of the staff here, let's say you got an open spot to fill on your coaching staff, one of the 10. The big name, this is the big fish. I'll lead off with the big fish first, get you guys all warmed up and lathered. Jason Taylor, former Miami Dolphin, Hall of Famer, the whole 9 yards. He's currently at 2023 was his first year as a full-time D-line coach. So he's currently a at Miami, University of Miami. Obviously, he's lived in South Florida since he joined the Dolphins. But don't forget he's from Akron, or played at Akron. Isn't he and his sister Joy Taylor? Talk about taking a side road. Holy crap. Feel bad for her. She has to be on that show with Couchard. Anyways, I think they're from like Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, something like that. Anyways, Jason Taylor went to Akron, so he knows Ohio a bit. So he served 1 year as a D-line coach. That was his first year as a full-time coach on Miami's staff. Before that, he was an analyst for a year at the Canes, and then before that, coached at St. Thomas Aquinas. So he could come in, learn for a year under LJ, and kind of be that transition so that we don't lose an Edric Houston or a Kenyatta Jackson. Somebody doesn't transfer out, right? Sorry. There have been discussions and contract details discussed between Taylor his agent, obviously, and Ohio State. So the question is, what are his goals? What's his why? You know, does he really want to go out there on the road and recruit? Does he want to, burn the midnight oil all week long, game planning, practicing, you know, um, working directly one on one with guys? Is that something that he wants to do? I mean, he's only been doing it for a couple of years here at Miami, and before that, a year in high school at St. Thomas Aquinas. Now that's like a small college, but would he be okay with another year as a co D line coach? And is it going to be awkward for the players, the Ohio State D linemen, you know, to deal with two different voices in that D line room? Seems a little weird. But he's also being pursued by LSU and some other schools. So Buckeyes can't just sit on this and let him, wait till the end of the month or something. They're going to have to make a move quickly. So Jason Taylor is a real option. Obviously, he has to be a good recruiter, right? I mean, just walk in anybody's living room with a fucking gold jacket on. Yeah, take my son, please. You know, um, take my wife too. Whoever, I don't care. But anyways, some of the other options are Alan Clark. He's currently the GA on the staff at Ohio State right now, working under Larry Johnson. He came to Ohio State a year ago, January of 23. He's an NFL pass rush specialist, has his own company. I'm not sure if he still operates that or not. Probably doesn't have much time for it. He's trained over 51 active NFL players as CEO of his company. And he was a DN coach at Southern University in 2022. That was his first season as a full-time D-line coach. So he doesn't have a lot of experience. He's from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, so he does bring that region as far as recruiting goes, so that helps. But again, when have we ever, other than maybe one dude, you know, we ever got out of the South, out of Louisiana to come up to Ohio? It's going to be hard to do. And let's see, he coached it, or he played at Northwestern State and Grambling, and led the conference in 2017 with 11 sacks. And yeah, so on the staff, still a little green in my opinion. Doesn't really have, just because he's worked under Larry Johnson, I'm not sure he has the experience yet to take over a full-time job. That's a big deal. Next up, Randall Joyner. We've talked about him a million times. Currently Ole Miss's D-line coach. He's a pretty big name and pretty well paid too. He's one of those rising assistants and a strong recruiter. He did work under Larry Johnson in the past at Ohio State. He started at Hawaii in 2015 as a GA, Ohio State 2016 to 2018 as a GA, SMU 2018 to 2021 as D-line coach, and then went to Ole Miss in 2021 and has been there since as their D-line coach. At SMU, he did increase their sacks. They were ranked #1 in all of college football in sacks per game and top 3 in TFLs in 2019. Then 2020, they were number 15 in TFLs. Going back to 2021, they had 40 sacks. That was 15th in the country. 79 TFLs. That was 53rd. 2022, 35 sacks. That's 27th. And then TFLs, they had 81. That was 43rd. This past year in 23, they had 35 sacks, which is 21st. So some improvement there. And 82 TFLs that moved them up to 38th in the country. So solid work at an SEC program. So plenty of good experience there. Next up is kind of a curveball I threw in here. I talked about him the other day. Charlie Partridge. He is a key recruiter on Pitt's coaching staff, so he's not far away from Columbus. He might be interested in moving a few hours west. He's huge in the state of Florida with Pitt's recruiting. Their sacks and TFLs in 2021, they had 54 sacks. That's third in the country. 113 TFLs. That was third in the country. In 2022, they had 48 sacks. That was second in the country. TFLs 91. That's 20th in the country. And then in 2023, this past year, he had 31 sacks, 42nd in the country, 83 TFLs. That was 34th in the country. So um, that dude's solid. And at Pitt, I mean, come on. Last guy, or two, I got two guys here. Vince Ogabasi, he's at Boston College. I really just brought him up. He's pretty young, 36 years old, from Houston, Texas. He was a GA at Duke, worked a couple of years at San Francisco with Chip Kelly. And he increased their QB sacks from 11 to 26 over one season, which is impressive. And he also studied under Larry Johnson as a GA. Last guy, Kenny Anunki. I hope I got that right. He was a D end, started off at Olentangy High School in Columbus area, played D end at Duke. He served as a GA under Larry Johnson from 2017 to 2019, and currently is at Fordham since 2020 as their defensive run game coordinator and D line coach. So he was a popular one, Kenny was, with the players. And so we'll see what happens here. I don't know if you can make all these guys a D-line coach, but maybe that's the plan. We offer it to Jason Taylor. If he turns it down, we go to the next guy on the list, right? But I think having that transition plan is the most important thing to Ryan Day, the way it seems to me. So that's all I got for you today. Hey, don't forget, we're launching a film room soon. Maybe we'll call it TBC Video Vault or something like that. How's that sound? Hit me with your ideas in the comments or text me, email me, whatever. I like your ideas. You guys have some creativity back there. So I got for you today. Talk to you tomorrow. Go Bucks.